And I know that, like, even watching this, oops, sorry, the cops. Anyway, hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, so you're watching Watch This, where I discuss TV, film reviews, and also screenwriting tips for beginning writers. So if you would like to know my thoughts, my review on the book of Clarence, stay tuned. Okay, so just off the bat, the book of Clarence, when I initially saw the trailer for this film, I was like, oh, this is interesting. It's like a different perspective on you know, biblical references. Of course, Clarence, I'm like, Clarence is not an actual character in the Bible, but we see Clarence and the things that he's kind of going through in his life, and we see how, and this is not a spoiler, but we see how he wants to he needs to change his life. Like, he's going through a lot of financial woes. He's going through, like, just like in search of trying to find like what he wants to do with his life, trying to better his life for himself and for his mother. So he figures the best way to do that is by scheming. Okay, and we see a journey of a young man, a young black man, just really trying to find his way in a world where he is constantly viewed as nothing. Like, there's specific instances that we kind of see, and I'm not going to say each scene, but like there's one scene where he's conversing with a family member, and like they're judging him on his character, but also, you know, in the same space, like really reducing him down to nothing. And you can see that like Clarence is hurt by this family member saying these things to him. And you can also see like he's kind of like, you can see a little bit of like the goodness in his heart as he deals with other family members like his mother, and how he is with his love interest. But you can also see like he be BSing. Like, you can like try to do, I don't know, like you can try to find a legal job, if you will, and just do little things. And this is like, I guess, a conversation that like a lot of people would have about maybe certain family members are like, why can't you, like, you're so intelligent, like you're really a good person, you're smart, why can't you take this gift and try to like really do something noble with it? But instead you try to take the shortcuts. And not to like judge other people, but that's like basically was Clarence's story. So we see that, we see how he's treated with like the Roman law and stuff like that, and he like constantly is feeling like he is nothing, and he wants to get out of it. So he goes on a plan or a mission to, you know, imitate Jesus of Nazareth. And as he goes on his plan, he starts to have success, but he starts to like look at himself, and it tackles the conversation of like, what would you do to get the things that you want? What would you can still consider keep continuing doing those things in replace of your integrity? And I really feel like this movie is necessary in the sense of like, all of the stories in the Bible were literally lessons. And I know that like, even watching this, oops, sorry, the cops. Anyway, so let's wait for that to go by. Sometimes like the cops will come through my complex because it's like it's a shortcut to the next road, So yeah, I hate that because they always do that, even fire trucks. But anyway, so I really feel like there is going to be pushback about this movie. I know already a lot of like churchgoers were like kind of like, this is blasphemy. But if you actually watch the story, this could have literally been a story in the Bible. That's how like accurate it is when it comes to like people, decisions, society, like trying to find your way, trying to find hope, trying to find faith. Um, yeah, I really do. Now, like I will say, coming in, I really expected to like be laughing nonstop. There were moments that I did laugh, but there were also moments where I was just like watching and I'm like, okay, this is getting kind of long. But not to say that it wasn't a good movie, but there were also a lot of moments where it was very serious and it was like emotional. Like it was actually really sad. I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting this. Like, even though you know that this is a biblical story, like when I think of like uh James Samuel, I believe that's the director's name, and also the writer, he did The Harder They Fall, and The Harder They Fall is an excellent film. um I would consider it like a Western drama slash musical, because I don't say musical, but they sung a lot. Like there was a couple of songs. Did they sing a lot? I think they broke out in song like once or twice. It wasn't a musical anyway, but I will say with that film, they also did a lot of playing with like, of course it was a period piece, but then they had like more modern songs and rap and stuff like that. Some of that was also done in this film, which can be a little confusing. But that's where the comedic timing kind of plays a part of the film. Also, there was like one scene where I was just like, oh no. Like I was like laughing, but it was cute. It was like a breakout of dance, like when they were like at the Jerusalem club. And I was just like, what is this? But it was cute. Like, um, I forget what song it was. I think it was like Over Egyptian Nights or something like that. I forget what the Jones Girls. I think that's the song. Because at first, when the beat came on, I was like, wait, is this Patrice Rushen? But then I was like, oh no, I know this song. It's by the Jones Girls. But yeah, like they had this like scene where they were like dancing, like they were in the club, and I'm like, they were like kind of doing like not a Soul Train live. I was like, would they be doing this? But it also sparked a lot of questions. I'm like, what would they be using to get high? Sorry. And this is where also is like, okay, this is a biblical story. Well, a loosely based like interpretation of like a biblical kind of story, but like there were like moments when like some of the characters were getting high, and it was like, well, what would they be doing? Like what would be the thing? Because of course substance would be uh there would be some type of substance, but I just wonder, like, that is interesting. And also it just like really sparked a lot of conversation of like, what is really the true story? Like, because when we do see who Jesus is and like the the apostles, you just, I don't know, it just like sparked the conversation of like these figures, which is interesting to me. And I will say I liked it. There were moments where I was just like, what is going on? But there were moments like there's a real story within the story here. Like, yes, the book of Clarence is a fictional story, but there were gems inside of this that had biblical references that was very necessary. So yeah, I will say I like the story. Is this something that like I will watch over and over? Like I watch The Harder They Fall. I probably will watch it again if it comes on streaming, but I did go to the movies to see it. Um And I do recommend like checking it out in the movies. I don't necessarily know how everyone is going to feel about this film, but I felt like I was like, this could have been a story in the Bible. Like it was very accurate of like dealing with people, like people and integrity, dealing with faith, like finding your faith, losing faith, like it's just like all of the elements. Like this could have been a biblical story. I don't know why anyone would be mad about this, but yeah. So if I could rate this, I would give it like, I'll give it a five or six. Like I'll give it a 5 or 6. Yeah, I'll give it a 5.5. It wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't horrible. It was just like, okay, like it was cute. It was a cute movie. So yeah, I'll give it a 5.5. But yeah, yeah, as far as themes like finding faith, um, integrity, like it was like little parody moments of like I have to say this. So it was a scene where they were stopped by like the Roman law or whatever. They were like, we need to see your papers because there's a guy on the loose that fits your description. And when they showed the description, I was like, oh my god, like it was hilarious. But then we see the actual person that actually fit the description, and I was just like, this is a bug, like this is too much. But yeah, but there were like some moments in there, I forget what the guy name is, but he was like I want to say like the hustler. He had like a brothel of the town, who like had a speech in this film, um or a monologue, and it was like actually really good. It was like he like you could see the emotion on his face when he was like crying. I was like, this is actually, they had like acting moments in this. Like Lakeith, like there were multiple times that Lakeith, uh who played Clarence, he was crying in this film, and I can really feel like this man was crying because it was sad. I wasn't expecting it to be so sad, but they did have sad moments. And also like a moment that I was not expecting at the end, which I was like, oh, we're really about to watch this. Like we're really about to watch this happen. But yeah, I do recommend checking it out. Even if you wait for streaming or go see it, like go support it. It was a great cast. Like I do like their interpretation of like this biblical, taking little biblical references and then like reinventing it from the black perspective. I thought it was really good in a sense of that. Like I like that. Because I don't ever recall seeing like a full biblical story with majority like black people, like majority to black people. But yeah. Um yeah, so yeah, that concludes my review. Let me know if you are going to check out the Book of Clarence. If you have, what are your thoughts on it? I know the sun is like setting right now, but yeah, let me know. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one.